right, we're in.
I like the rebrand.
Hey everybody, Patriot Sons Podcast 112 Healthcare You're not going to believe what you hear. What's up, everybody? Edward, do you like the rebrand? I did.
I do.
Actually, I love that photo. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
it's weird what you could do with AI. It's just throwing it out.
Feels like Stonehenge. Really awesome. Yes.
Well, I'm just throwing it out there because I know Edward hates AI and that he doesn't think that it'll ever take his job of building steel trusses. So
no, I don't think it will. And you know what? Even if anybody wants to steal my job, go ahead and take it.
It will. I think you're at a point though where you will actually be able to sell the business to an AI company and retire when that happens. So.
Why didn't I ever? Yes, great news. Okay, then I could do that probably next year.
Yeah, be supportive of AI, Edward.
Yeah, they'll give you a 3D printer and they'll be able to do everything.
I hope you're right. By the way,
honestly, that's no joke. They will literally be able to 3D print steel trusses.
I'm believing you're right in saying that.
It won't take long. Anyways, but the whole point of this show is we want to explain to everybody that government-provided healthcare is socialism. And if you don't believe that, we're going to explain that to you over the course of this show. And it's even worse in Canada, but we'll walk through that. But then you got to come back and look at the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and the mandate, even though they got struck down by the Supreme Court, and go, well, who's funding all the healthcare? Well, I want cheaper premiums. Who's actually paying for your cheaper premiums? If you're not paying for them, ultimately, let's wrap this up into what is socialism? Because your healthcare, I don't care what Western country you live in, it's socialist healthcare of some varying degree.
Yeah, and you know what? Before we even get into all of that, I gotta say, and I'm not even that familiar with, the I don't even know what you call the health. You don't have a health care as far as the medicine goes. Your prescription drugs are funded by, I forget what that's called now. That
Obamacare.
No,
you're talking about Obamacare.
No,
Medicare Part D,
Medicaid. Okay. That thing. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Is that all insurance company monies like that? What do they call that now? I don't even know. The Medicaid, that type of thing. That's not part of Obamacare.
It's taxpayer money funding insurance companies to provide taxpayers.
Oh, all right, yeah.
So, and they fund Medicare and Medicaid in all of the different plans.
So it's a socialist system already. Then
that's my whole point.
Huh?
Edward, if anybody wants to ask me where I would rate George W. Bush among American presidents, it would be bottom 3. Okay?
No,
very, very difficult to do more damage than anyone did in those 8 years.
You have Woodrow Wilson above him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. All right. Okay. But they held the votes on Medicare Part D open for more than 24 hours because they had to twist arms, and I mean there was even a guy from Louisiana that ended up voting for it, and Rush called it the Louisiana Purchase, and the Nebraska buyout, whatever the hell it was. I mean, they were determined they were going to socialize prescription drugs because Pharma knew they could never charge $62,000 for chemotherapy unless they had Medicare on board to pay for it. And so there had to be Medicare prescription drugs and the Bush family dutifully did the duty prescribed to them by the oligarchs, as they did every other time. When H.W. Bush did the Americans with Disabilities Act, and he did all the rest of the things that he did, which were huge, big government programs. It was wonderful sounding legislation, but it was all deleterious to the republic. And that's where people, when I use the term, when Reagan got on the plane and went to California, Bush had told Gorbachev privately that it won't be the way that it's been, relax, everything's fine. He didn't realize Gorbachev was already going out of business, so there was no saving that guy. And he even told Yeltsin, we're going with Gorbachev. And of course, there was just no money left. The Soviet Union was a dead letter. And in fact, for proponents of civil action in the United States, I've often wondered why Americans haven't taken the same sort of actions that the Soviets did near the end of the Soviet Empire, which was taking their trucks and driving them to the border of Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia, the Eastern satellite nations, and parking them, getting out of them and parking them. So all commerce stopped between Russia and the Soviet satellites. So the satellite nations rose up and declared independence from the USSR. And that was the fulcrum moment that stopped the USSR in its tracks when it dissolved. In fact, when I went to adopt the kids in the Ukraine, there were train tracks going through the town we were going to, but you couldn't get there using that train because when the Soviet Union dissolved, that train was in Georgia, and Georgia kept it because Georgia was a sovereign nation now, and they wanted the train. They never sent it back, even though they had train. No, we're not. We're going to use it. Yeah, that's ours. We're keeping it, and that's what happened when it dissolved. And I've often wondered, in all of the Arizona flap, because Arizona's a red state, it is, and why the truck drivers in Arizona didn't do something similar. And you can say, well, we're not organized enough to do that. And I'm like, guys, it only takes a spark to get the fire going. That's all it takes. And we always chicken out. At heart, we're always Republicans. And we fold because we think, or as Bluto said in Animal House, where's the spirit, huh? Where's the guts? You guys, this could be the best night of our lives, and you guys are going to let it be the worst. Well, not me. I'm not going to take this. Who's with me? Come on!
I love Senator Blutowski from Animal House. He's my favorite character of that movie because he's right, even when he was wrong, that it was the Germans bombing Pearl Harbor. But that speech, that 33-second speech, is incredible. It really is. If you guys are too young that are watching this now,
memorized every
highly
line.
recommend watching that movie. I know it doesn't have high-tech special effects and all the stuff that we have in modern movies, but that movie alone will move you. It's cool. Oh, it's an incredible movie.
It's over, man. It's over, man. Wormer dropped the big one. Over?
It's not over.
It's over. Nothing is over until we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor? Hell no. And it ain't over now. Germans, stop. He's rolling.
Fantastic movie. Yeah. And like I said, it was not that old. What is that? Maybe 25, 30 years old now? I can't remember.
Oh, it was the 1980s, bro.
1978 is 50 years old.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, he's been dead for 45 years.
I guess I'm old. God. Yeah, I mean,
even Otter's dead. I mean, seriously, those guys are dead.
Yes. Yeah. I know Jim or James left us early.
Karen Allen went the way of Carrie Fisher.
Who?
No, Boone's girlfriend. You don't remember that immortal line? Oh, come on now. Says,
Yeah.
hey, Pinto. We're looking for a date for Pinto, but it's got to be a very special girl. She needs to be fun, and we're willing to sacrifice looks for a certain moral flexibility. And Karen Allen says, "You mean you want someone you can screw on the first date?" Well put.
Well, that was it. Like that was very, very normal speak in movies. Like for, I doubt there's no younger people watching us live right now. Hopefully, they'll watch us later. That they go, oh, you can't, oh. Hey, look, stop clutching your pearls. But I do want to, because this was the topic, and it's a good topic that Edward really wanted to talk about. And it's even worse in Canada than it
Oh,
is in the United States. But the United States, I'm telling you, Edward, is only 3% behind you in this. It's just masked in
yeah.
layers. So,
Well,
all right, socialism,
and I
it's
hate that for
in your
America.
healthcare system.
Well, I got to say first, I don't want to see America go down the same road that the Canadians bought into. Yeah, I'm going to say it. We bought into it. You say free health care, and everybody was on board. I mean, oh yeah, great. It's free. No one thought to, I guess, think through the lib speak that liberals use by undoing the words and say free. You mean individually health taxpayer funded? You mean like us Canadians paying for it? You mean like what we're doing now paying for it? But well, yeah, we do mean that, but at least now we'll control the purse strings as government agents and we can take off the top whenever we damn well please, and you'll never know it because we don't have to be transparent about where our money's going or where your money's going. So therefore, yeah, it's socialist. Same as, well, the banking system and the school system and everything else we have that's socialist. Well, the whole country is basically socialist because as the people in government that control where we're at today love to even tell you right on TV, yeah, we love socialism. I'm thinking, really? I mean, that's why you're there. We voted you in, as free agents representing us, and you come up, wow, well, yeah, I guess I do love socialism. You got to be kidding me. That's the last person we want in government, but that's what's happening. And yeah,
Edward, did Mark Carney stand for election? Did people actually vote for him?
no, you know what? I don't want to get into the voting we have up here because it's so crooked. Most all the conservative votes get thrown in the garbage to say, "Oh, they were spoiled ballots," and no one checks
No,
anyway.
no, 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 no.
Problem.
The question's valid. Hold on, the question's valid. Was there an actual election?
Yeah, there was.
Okay, there was an actual election.
Mhm.
Whether
Florida.
we're not getting into
Yeah, don't. Yeah, because it's too.
specifics. That's fine. So there was an
Yeah,
election, and
yeah.
they voted for a European who doesn't
Is
live
Mark
in Canada.
Was
To
he?
be
is Mark Carney a Canadian?
I think he started out that way before he did the grift in England, and then came back here because that's what the WEF wanted him to come back here and represent, Trudeau's position. He was running. He was backing them anyways. It was his big idea to close the bank accounts with Chrystia Freeland. So he was already the manager of the Bank of Canada at that time. So like he wrecked the Bank of England, so he thought he'd come over here and destroy ours and finish us off now. So that's his job and duty, and he's doing a fine job of it. And no Canadian understands it all because, well, they're much too busy with their, I don't even know what kind of life they're even living. Most Canadians are just so detached from reality. It's not funny. They don't have the time for the real stuff, and that's why
So
we're in trouble.
when you get your free healthcare
Yeah.
and you need a hip replacement, walk me through that. What does that look like?
That's a long wait. Now, you know what? A lot of Canadians were going over the border to the U.S. because although we had to pay out of our own pockets, it was quick, it was fast, and it wasn't all that much money. They think, well, it's extraordinarily expensive in this. No, it's not because they haven't bothered to price out one in Canada. So they think, oh, everything's so expensive there, but they don't even know what they're talking about. And yeah, there are going to be some expensive surgeries and whatnot you have there, but the government made it illegal for us to cross the border to take on any type of surgeries or healthcare extras.
How are they going to figure that out?
I don't know, but I just know it was
There-
announced so many
there-
times on
there-
TV and radio.
all right, so that brings up to a lawful rebellion would be to go get health care wherever you can get it, in whatever country you can get it.
I think so too. Especially
That's a lawful rebellion. They say it's illegal to go get health care somewhere else.
yeah, I know because the lineups and the wait times are so long here. That's another thing they forgot to mention to the people when they said, "Oh, it's free healthcare." Oh, does that cover everything? Well, most things. Can we get it when we need it before we die? I mean, well, maybe. So if you have to wait 10 years, forget it. You might as well go to the states then if you're gonna, especially if it comes to stuff like turbo cancers where you have to have it addressed pretty Q, right? Pretty damn quick. And
Well, where did all these turbo cancers come from?
well, I think that's stupid. Well, if I want to say out loud, I'll tell you. I think the
I am the
vaccines,
science. The guy called I am the science.
Oh,
yeah,
that guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean and I are big fans of that guy.
Yeah, we talk about him often.
We really like scientism. We
yeah.
do.
I can't stand that guy. He's like he reminds me of just a little muppet. Yeah.
Well,
what is
Can I even say his name?
No, well, he's a little troll.
Yeah.
We need to stay on YouTube.
Rod DeSantis wanted to throw him across the river, but he will be forever known as Doctor I am Science.
Dr. Science, right?
Dr. No. Yeah, Dr. Science. That's a good one.
He's got lots of
the real
science.
science, they say. Oh my God. Yeah, what's science?
Edward, there are still let me use your term, libtard women up in the Northeast that have their thanks Dr. Science signs in their yard, because he helped them through COVID. They think he's this, he's that. And look, the point is always this. Once you abandon Almighty God,
No. Yeah.
then you're on your own.
I agree.
Right?
And
Once you're on stop, Edward. Once you're on your own, you are deathly afraid of dying. And if the government runs a psyop and convinces you you're going to die if you don't do something, and then they mandate it by force of law, it's the same as King Henry VIII assuming the authority of the Pope and telling you what you must do as a subject. It's assuming the authority of a religious figure, and that's what Dr. Science occupies for these, as you call them, libtard women.
Well,
the overwrought, crazy bitches that you see on these videos on Instagram and Facebook about how awful the patriarchy is and all the rest of that. Dr. Science is their hero. And this is the perversion that Western culture has suffered. And we're all sitting here wondering, how does it lift?
Suffering, you bring up a good term because suffrage comes into play there when I shouldn't be on there. But yeah, you know what? You bring up a good point as far as giving up your faith or trading it away for following junk science. I can't believe. So really, God just made a bunch of junk. And if it wasn't for these, and I don't know what they're calling scientists. I mean, everything's the science says, who's these scientists? And I forget the other terms they use loosely. They won't even mention any names, but yeah, once you give up your faith in God and trade it away for this fake science and all this other stuff, you're pretty much doomed because now you're putting all your faith into Dr. Who'd you say? What'd you call him? Just Dr. Science? Okay, Dr. Science then. Yeah, that guy. And, of course, thinking he's infallible or something. So anyways, God makes all this junk and we can't survive without Dr. Science, at the helm here, conducting this great orchestra we call humanity, in our health. And he's going to save us all from this, well, you can say it's genetically a disease that they created, but I do because I know damn well they created it for just this reason.
True story. A stone's throw from where I sit right now, there's an elderly couple that occupies a house that, if as you see the palatial mansion that I live in right now, it's not gonna be here 6 months from now, or someone else be in it, whatever. But the point is that this woman was tireless. She was one of those busy butt older
Oh,
ladies who was out raking her yard every day. This is leaf season, and I'll spare you the agony I've gone through with my stupid tractor mower this year. That's not important. But it has annoyed me greatly. But we'll just leave that by the side of the road. Anyway, she was always out there with a rake. She had her leaf blower, tireless. I mean, 77 years old. She made me look bad. All right. I
Yep.
just run the stupid tractor around the yard and suck up the leaves, and I don't give
I
a
do.
damn what happens in the flower beds or anything like that. I just want it done.
Yeah.
Okay. She got the last leaf, and I mean, and when you saw the branch fall out of one of the big trees around here and crack a roof, she was outside. She was all over those guys. We need to fix this, blah, 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 blah. We've all known she's an American icon. We all know women like that. Okay. Now, she's on her 5th booster.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And she's in a skilled nursing facility. You know why?
Ah.
Because all of a sudden she got this neurological condition where her organs enlarged, and she can barely speak. She can barely control her bladder function, her bowel function, and all that. And her 81-year-old husband is over there. He comes over and talks to me all the time. And I mentioned Patrick Soon-Shiong and the interleukin 15, which is still bottled up, which would probably help her. I mean, I've even reached out to my nurse friends who've got these magic potions that are supposed to cure cancer and all the rest of this, trying to get an answer from them because I really want to help her.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, they were Pfizer shareholders, so they did exactly what Pfizer said. And they wrecked their lives. These were supposed to be the best years they had together, and it's been destroyed by you know who.
Dr. Science.
Dr. Science.
Yeah.
He should swing. All
I
right?
think so too. No.
I won't say it again, but that would be too good for him. All right?
Yeah,
It should be more painful than that.
he had help, by the way. Remember that Deborah Burks that was up there at the podium as well?
Oh,
They were all hold on. They were all part of the thing, and we're going down a path that's not the right path to stay on.
I know. I apologize, but Mike Pence, throw him in there too. Anyway, go ahead.
No, totally agree, Mike Pence. Totally agree. Absolutely a part of that whole thing. But I think because and I did talk with JC briefly. People don't actually know and you could take healthcare out of it, or you could keep healthcare in of it. As you want to use an example, they don't really. Modern people now don't understand what socialism really is, and I think that was the focal point of where we wanted to go. In that you literally you think, oh, we'll just tax the rich. Okay, but there's 902 billionaires that taxably live in the United States. And you go, well, they live in other places, so they can't be taxed. No, they still pay taxes to America. 902. Take all their money. What do you have? You have $38 trillion still in printed debt because of Congress.
But people don't understand how much.
Where? Hold on, hear me out. Where does socialism come from? It starts with, we'll give you free shit. Everything, whatever. We'll start with healthcare. We'll just keep moving on. We'll give you free buses. We'll give you free train rides. We'll
government-run grocery stores. We'll give you free food.
Yes, and then now we're into a point where, and I've explained this before, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. I can't remember who was on the podcast. Is we get into people now vote for that because generations have passed. It doesn't take long. Generations typically about 20 years. If you look at our age, so that at least 2 from me, possibly 3 generations from me, and you guys to the youngest voting age people, right? So hear me out. They go, I can't afford this. I'm stuck in my mom's house. You guys are all calling me a loser because I can't afford anything with all of this inflation. I can't get a start. And this man, Domney guy, was saying, I'm going to freeze your rent. I'm going to give you free transportation. You won't have to own a car. And they go, fuck yes. They don't ask who's going to pay for it.
No, I know.
Sure.
They don't. That's the most important thing I'm saying. They don't ask who's going to pay for it, and this
And
is how you
because they
walk
don't,
into communist China.
they don't care.
They
No,
don't
it's
care.
true. As
Why
long
would
as
they care? They don't know.
at that
Well,
moment in time, yeah. JC?
well, let me just say that in January when he institutes his free buses, I will lick my chops watching for those heated buses riding around New York City all night with all of the homeless people on the bus because they can get on without paying. And
Keep
maybe they have a bathroom, maybe they don't, but I'll tell you what, they'll be used as a bathroom.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how it works. You
That's
give a
sad.
man a 30-year lease on a desert, he'll turn it into a garden. You give a man a 1-year lease on a garden, and he'll turn it into a desert. And if you're only there for the night, why shouldn't I just take this dump in the corner back here? What difference does it make to me? I'm going to get off at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll wipe with
And I'll
whatever's
catch the
available.
next bus that you just had to clean.
Right.
That's right.
Correct. Nope, it's true.
Exactly. And
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 you know
and,
what?
and so what are you going to do about that, Zoran, Mamkami? How's that going to work? I
You know
mean,
what's so funny about that whole thing you just said now about even him getting in office or voted in back in 1920s, maybe even the early 30s. One person said, commenting on Karl Marx's book, that when the people realize they can vote themselves raises out of the government coffers, countries will go broke. I'm thinking, well, that's what's happening now. Everybody's
imagine
buying
that.
votes and they're buying this and buying that and selling the freedoms away so cheaply. Well, they won't say healthcare would be a cheap one because it's not, but how they abuse the healthcare system, I'm talking government officials now, is insane. And no one realizes this big black hole we call healthcare, which there's nothing much to it now. You can't get most things done.
Right.
You nickel and dime you. You got to buy your own crutches. You got to buy your ambulance ride. You got to buy just about everything, even your own health card. Because apparently, when it first started, everybody in the world was coming to Canada to get all this free health care and then sent back home again. And so now we have to prove that you're Canadian first. So they charge you now for these new
Oh,
health cards.
wait a
So
minute, wait a minute. You guys are going to check a voter ID for
No
healthcare?
shit.
I
Right?
Yeah.
know, I know, right? Yeah. So this is the ridiculousness of the whole thing. Yeah. So here we are in a socialist system because we sold out our freedoms, thinking we're going to get something all so grand, and it turned out to be, well, what we got, the worst healthcare system in the world. We're behind England, we're behind France, we're behind, and it has a list of different countries that have a socialized healthcare system. We're dead last.
Almost all of them. Almost all of them.
Yeah. So you know what?
Some countries just don't because the third or fourth world don't have a healthcare system
Yeah.
because they don't have a government that's set up to
Edward,
handle it.
Yeah.
Edward, let me testify on behalf of the people in the United States. In the 1960s, the government stepped in to help.
God, why were those women so hairy?
Yes, indeed.
What? Say that
In the
again?
90s,
Let's keep going.
Sean doesn't like hairy women. It's okay. I mean, listen, he's an acolyte of Edward Bernays. He's the guy who convinced women to shave their legs in the 40s. All right, because they didn't do that
I
before
never heard
then.
that guy.
And by the way, the propaganda never got to Europe because they still don't do it, and they've got hairy pits too.
I never
So
even
if
heard that name
you're
before.
involved with a Greek or European, you can go pretty. Well, what's the term? Go native. I think that's the term.
Oh,
Anyway,
yikes. So
anyway,
in the 60s,
anyway. Now, as far as that goes, the whole superstructure of this is involved with take it from this one, give it to that one, take it from this one, give it to that one, until you run out of money.
And it happened.
And the US economy is so gargantuan that, we obviously had a lot more money to give away before we got to the precipice, but all indications are, especially the price of gold, is that we're at the precipice. That's
Yeah.
where we are. Gold is $4,000 an ounce. In 2002, it was $200 an ounce. And
And people are also looking to divest into things that would scare a lot of people called crypto because they're looking at the US dollar right now and go, there is no way. And they might go,
no value.
I love Trump and all, but there is no fucking way we survive this.
Yeah. Well,
Financially.
thanks, BRIC nations. I mean, that's what's doing it all.
It's
You know what? If these countries pay,
BRICS is
huh,
never going to be a thing. It's never going to be a thing. Stop.
I'm
No,
telling
it's
you,
not
Hold
gonna.
on.
these
It's not gonna
countries
work.
revolting against the interest they have to pay on the U.S. debts and trying to figure out some other currency to use instead of paying
It's
it back
not
in American
that.
dollars. That's a
What's
big
going to
part of
break?
what's going on with these BRICS nations. It just ticks me right off. You sign the deal to pay it in American dollars. You damn well pay it back in U.S. dollars and get off this other stuff that you're trying to go after. I
They
mean, that's the
will. They
whole.
have the only ones that haven't. So if we're gonna do geopolitics real
Well, yeah, I
quick.
didn't really, didn't really
Well,
want to go
no, no,
down
but
that
hold
route.
on. Real quick, I'll say the only one is you got a deal between Iran, Russia, and China to pay for fuel in the rupee. Uh, right.
Indian rupee, right?
In the
The-
Indian rupee, and even that's not going to be successful. So, I'm not fear mongering. The U.S. dollar is still the absolute dominant thing. What I'm telling you is, investors are going, we're divesting out of that because assets like gold, of course, and crypto are going to be more secure than the US dollar. I'm not saying that BRICS nations or China are going to break the US government dollar, to be clear.
Well,
And Sean, since you brought up geopolitics, I can add the following. The World Economic Forum has been a group that has inspired much distrust, well deserved. And they clearly had a plan to replace the US with China as the people who paid for everything and provided the muscle. And midway through the grand project that Klaus Schwab, who you don't hear much about anymore, but that whole thing fell apart because China basically told them to screw off. And so they are scrambling to find a foothold. But a wise person that I correspond with on X has said the big loser in the grand game is going to be Europe because they don't produce anything. They
yeah,
don't have any assets.
isn't
They
that
don't
true?
they don't produce energy. They don't produce anything. And
Well,
the global south produces almost all of the materials, with the exception of oil from the United States, in the Middle East. And basically, the global south is searching for an honest broker, and that's Donald Trump's wheelhouse. They trust him. You've seen Donald of Arabia over in the Middle East, and they treat him like he's King Faisal. All right, and they just adore him. And I mean, Mohammed bin Salman just gave him $1 trillion. Will he really do it? Well, it'll be enough, that it's important. But where's Europe in all this?
some
Nowhere.
it,
I
it's
mean,
a
no,
it's a
no.
sinking ship. I'm telling you, untie
Europe,
yourself from these people. And Canada
Well,
wants
I
to
you,
take
gotta,
they,
I
advantage
gotta
of
also ask, I gotta ask, I just ask one extra question on that, Edward,
them.
as the Canadian, which is part of Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where does your country
Part of
go?
the UK. Part of the UK. Come on now. The
I know.
Where
Commonwealth.
does your
Right.
country go with all this? Trump's wheeling and dealing. He's doing all this. Where Canada's still like, yeah, we're gonna make trade deals with Kuala Lumpur, and everyone's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is that?
You know,
Or New Guinea.
this
Or
Right.
Ghana. Right. Yeah.
this guy we got in office is an absolute moron. Now, actually, he knows what he's doing. He was sent to take down the country, and he's doing a fine job of it. He's saying, "Well, let's cancel all those orders for the F-50, F-16s. I
So
forget what."
he's your Obama, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. He's our Obama, and now he says we're going to buy them off Finland. We're going to buy these planes off Finland and cancel our. Now, this is the second time we've had these jets canceled. The first time, Harper, the progressive conservative guy,
I gotta
said, "Yeah,
tell
we need some
you,
new F-15s or something."
we sold those jets 15 years ago to Turkey. Then Turkey's like, these shit's too old 5 years later. And they
Right.
sold them to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia said this shit's too old, and they sold them to Newfoundland. And then now you guys are like, we're gonna take these 25-year-old jets and now we have an Air Force.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? Like
Can't believe it.
that's the jets this douchebag is buying.
Yeah, that's because he's stupid, and now he wants to buy the whole canceled order from the states
For
for the
American
second time now.
jets.
He wants to buy them from Finland. You hear me?
You know,
Finland.
listen, you understand that when we sell American military equipment,
Uh-huh.
we always install a kill switch on it.
Of course, China does
So
the same thing. Every country does.
if they want to get into it in Ukraine and Russia, we just turn it off.
Yeah, and not
Okay.
only that,
No, I'm not like this is not some sort of intelligence I'm getting away. I'm not saying anything that isn't known. We
course.
literally could just turn off the equipment.
Sean,
You
can
do
I
that.
ask a straightforward question?
Sure.
What's up?
$80 billion worth of crap we left for the Taliban. Can we turn that off too?
Yeah,
Not the rifles.
actually,
Everything else, yes.
Right.
we're actually buying that stuff. All the junk
Even
rifles and stuff.
like the Humvees that we see the Taliban flying around in, we can turn them off.
Yeah,
We
actually,
could.
any
We
new car today,
could.
Of course
You're-
we should.
you're
but that
asking a
we
good
don't.
Question, we could.
any new car
Yeah,
driving today, you can turn off by satellite.
But we
Anyone.
don't, do we? Yeah, how about that? Yeah, imagine that.
Yeah, we're going to be buying that junk stuff pretty soon. Give it 5 more years when it's really antiquated and rusted out. We're going to be buying that as a country as part of our military.
I'm gonna love how beautiful you make a Model T.
Yes. Listen, Edward, your government could fit in well as the government of St. Louis City. They're good at buying old shit.
Hey,
And it's totally
gentlemen.
worthless.
Must I remind you, that's what a communist country turns into, though. You look at Cuba, can't afford anything. You look at Dominican Republic.
Wait, why is that? So we talk like we all three as friends talk about this, but explain this to listeners. Why did socialist Cuba turn communist and now everybody lives in sheer poverty?
Yeah, weren't they promised everything like the Venezuelans promised everything, such wealth and health, and now look at them, Venezuela, the richest country in the world at one time, kind of tied with the States, and now I think they're worse off than Cuba right now, if I'm not mistaken. It's just pathetic. I can't remember what 1 ounce of silver.
No, they're not as worse as Cuba because of they have one very good industry.
They have
I
oil.
know. Yeah,
They're not as
They have
bad off
they
as
have
Cuba if
narcotics.
they've got oil. That's
They have
right.
Oil and narcotics.
Well,
forgot
the
the
narcotics,
No, seriously.
narcotics is actually a bigger business until their boats started blowing up for whatever reason.
Yeah, how's that happening?
Somebody for our audience explain the progression. And Edward, you might be good at this as a historian. The progression from people going from socialist to communist.
Wait a
and
second.
how fast that goes.
Yeah, that happens overnight, by the way. That can happen in 12 hours when everybody's asleep because you're already one step away from. And remember, no one realizes that. You say, well, we're not communists, we're socialists, or we're not even communists. What are you talking? Because that one step is so quick to happen in one night.
I got to break
Overnight.
it real quick. The current term in the West is democratic socialists. We're
No,
not socialists, we're Democrat. But go on, please.
that's the stupidest
Somebody
thing.
please lay down the fire from the turret and explain how when people get conned into being socialist, they become dominated by communism. Please, somebody tell me.
How do we get dominated by communism, you say? Because we give up our
From
freedom.
when you believe that socialism is what you're voting for.
Well, you are voting for socialism, though. You truly are. But communism is only one step away. And the sole job of socialism is to usher in communism, though. That's its only job. You do it trickery wise and lying to the people, deceiving them, promising all this pie in the sky stuff that'll never come true, or at least partially true, until the money runs out or until something else happens. And pretty soon there's no money left because they're taxing everybody so much because they're running out of money. The rich people take their money and leave. Then the game's over. Once the rich people take their money and their businesses and fold up, they're gone. There's no more money, no more people. They can't
Well,
survive. And
well,
that's
so
why there's.
what you're telling me is that Mao Zedong ran out of money, so he had to go conquer other peoples and kill them and take their money.
What's wrong with? Well, that's exactly right. What's wrong with that?
Not to mention cutting a deal with the U.S. State Department, but that's probably another show.
Oh my
Well,
God!
all right, look.
This guy, JC, just loves shit posting. I'm telling you, I've seen some of this.
JC, give me your lay down, and I've got a point where I'm going to, but give me your lay down of how a Western government, it could have even been Persia, but anything Western, where they submitted to socialism under the guise of, everybody's going to have a better life, would quickly turn into communism. And then just tell me how that happened.
You mean going from how the banking? Go ahead, JC.
Well, what happens is they first cancel the elections.
Because we don't need them now. We got perfection.
Right. I mean, look at Hamas in the Gaza Strip. What did they win an election in 2006?
Look at Ukraine.
Look
Yeah.
at Venezuela.
Look at Zelensky. The minute Zelensky got in office, what was he in? A musical performer or something?
He wasn't funny, but he was a comedian.
He was just a
gay
clown.
entertainer, a TV star, whatever.
He
The first thing
literally,
he did,
and I can say this on the internet, he got on TV and played the piano with his member.
What? Yeah. Really? You're going to be kidding me.
He really did.
No.
This is a clown.
He did that. And you see him winking at the camera and all that. He's coming on to the guys. There's no question that's what he's about. And that fits him into the Western, is Mark Mitchell. And by the way, this is Mark Mitchell's term, not mine. Don't cancel us, whatever he calls it, globo homo. And this goes back to the State Department effort to destabilize foreign regimes by finding the most weak-minded people in every country, and they're always gay and they're always female and whatever it is, because they want a rent-a-mob that will rise up against the government and destabilize things at the first adverse decision that doesn't implement whatever they think U.S. foreign policy is, which has nothing to do with the elected leader of the United States. It has to do with what the State Department and the intel services want. That's the game. And that's how the Romanian election got canceled, because we wanted that military base on the Black Sea to contain the Russians. That's what happened. And a judge, sound familiar? A judge stepped in and overruled it the same way that this idiot female libtard, there you go, Edward, libtard judge stepped in on this Somali thing in Minnesota and said, oh, well, he stole $7.2 million, but he's not guilty. And you're like, are you?
Isn't that
I mean, how can you do that?
I know.
But yet they're doing it, okay? And that's what we're up against.
So
We're in our,
basically, Zelensky is your progressive liberal, and that he just fits
he is.
exactly the description that you as you just worded it.
No, that's a great point because actually, if you look at Ukraine being Zelensky progressive liberal, and then you look at Russia, and you look at over the long term as Russia, not the USSR, because so many Americans still believe they're in the Cold War, and we're not.
Hmm.
Russia is actually super conservative. They ban gay marriage. They ban all they do all these things. Go ahead, jump in.
Orthodox.
There's two groups of people in the world that are staunch allies of the United States.
Hmm.
One is represented by the Russian people.
Mm-hmm.
The cost that those people paid to win World War II was beyond anything that the United States could ever imagine.
Mhm.
22 million dead.
I know.
Serious, just unbelievable. And the Chinese people, a similar number. You know, the Japanese rape of Nanking and all the rest of it. And we sold them down the river into communism, and we did the same damn thing at Tiananmen Square. They put a Lady Liberty mock up, and we sold them out. We sold them out, and the Chinese people are our allies. And Brent Scowcroft and George H.W. Bush, who I don't consider to be as bad of a president as George W. Bush, but he's up there, all right, sold them out to give the captains of U.S. industry access to Chinese slave labor and to subjugate the American middle class. And the Chinese people and Russian people have paid in blood just a,
Mhm.
a price that makes me want to weep. And to
I
think about the fact that they're still oppressed, especially in China, in Russia. Yeah. I mean, Putin's not a good guy, right? But the fact is, those are the people that are with us. And I think about all the time that we spend worrying about European opinion and all the rest of this. It just makes me want to puke.
Yeah, I'm with you, and that's why I'm against the European anything, European Union, uh, United
Yeah,
Nations, and all its branches. I'm against it all. That's why
That's just
America.
bullshit.
but
Edward, any sane nation would defund all of that shit right now and bring all of our troops home to defend our border.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed. Yeah.
I gotta say something bold here. If America was actually America first and wanted a partner in global defense, their best friend would be Vladimir Putin,
Yes,
and
Agreed.
we would control the sovereignty of the entire planet with just two nations.
yeah, that is
No,
true.
because you know what? Russia and United States. Guess who's in between them? Us.
No,
Nothing. Look, you gotta look at the globe in current technology.
Hmm.
Russia is just over the top of us.
Uh-huh.
All we gotta do is fly or take our boats just up past Canada. There's Russia. We're in with a plane, we could be in Moscow in 20 minutes from
Yep, yep.
Virginia.
they want to build a tunnel between Siberia and Alaska. We should do it.
And
Great
it's
idea.
like I did well, I made an AI do the math. At the speed that it would do, that thing would take you an hour round trip, so 30 minutes between Alaska and Siberia. And
And
if
they
you
all
build and Elon Musk's boring company could build a
do it.
tunnel big enough to put semi trucks in open trade. I don't. Did we talk about this on a podcast, JC, or was it on the phone?
No, we've been probably on the phone. You haven't talked about it on the air with me, but I'm totally in favor of all of it. I mean, absolutely. I can't believe that we've allowed the Europeans to prevent us from aligning with our natural trading partner all this time just to satisfy prejudices and their
Many of many of you
their
that
fear of Russia.
hold up, many of you that you think, well, I'm a white Homo sapien male, that I came from Europe.
A wasp.
Most of Europe is actually Russian. You're probably Russian. Maybe you're not, but I guarantee you during the world wars, both 1 and 2, Russia provided you safe haven to flee to the east, and then they provided you safe sailing passage to the west to get to America. And if you really looked into your family's history, you would find that happened over and over and over millions of times over the last 100 years. That Russia was never the enemy.
Who's
That
you
you,
guys?
but our media, controlled
Oh yeah.
by our Congress, said that they are the enemy. They are communist.
Yep.
Well, and by the way, the Brits set that up in Russia. You know that.
Of
Richard
course.
Poe. Anybody who wants to know the real story needs to read
I
about
Stay out
Richard
of
Poe's
school.
work on the
I
British.
like like everybody that's mad in America has no idea what's going on. The actual evil that's happened since the 1500s is the British Empire.
No, yeah.
Yeah,
We all know that.
and let
Well,
me
you know that, but no, most people don't know that, Edward.
You'd think they
Most
would.
people
let
think
me
it's
let me
America. America created slavery. That's
let me
what the world thinks.
Yeah.
let me say a
Because
few words and let me say a few words to balance in their defense. The Anglosphere of Hong Kong, Australia, India, South Africa for a time, the United States, Canada, New Zealand. All right. Obviously, the boot print of Britain in those places created modern economics and trading and all the rest of that. It's really lifted the condition of mankind, right? But,
India, but yeah.
and it's a big but, at the same time, the British have mastered the ability to control large populations with very small groups of influential elites
Coinage
Mhm.
who
indoctrination. So
dominate dominate opinion and dominate policy and enrich themselves. The British East India Tea Company is the model.
coinage indoctrination is the correct term. So if I just
It
inflect
is.
my money into your system of government or your people that doesn't have a government, many
Right,
people did not have governments at the time. I said, hey, I've got this shiny coin. You don't have to trade with a rock and a goat.
right.
Trade with this coin. Now all of a sudden, you have power over them because they want more of those.
And now
Right.
you introduce the
And
banking system.
move fast forward to 2012, Obama dropping off pallets, literally pallets of American dollars. So coinage indoctrination, still a stolen idea from the British Empire, used by Barack Obama to
In the
try to get
middle
the
of the
Middle
night,
East
in the
to
middle of the night with the lights off, land and didn't want anyone to know, was totally clandestine. It was the most disgusting
but the whole
moment of
he stole that from the British Empire.
I
yes,
know.
he did.
Coinage
Who he cl-
indoctrination. He's like, hey, listen, you could buy shit with these greenbacks. They weren't goldbacks anymore, but greenbacks.
Like
You could
think
buy
about
a bunch of shit, and if you could get
uranium.
a people, I'm not even going to say a country, but a people to go, oh, this is valuable, and I can trade, I can buy stuff with it, or I
I'll
can
let
sell
you
stuff.
have all my cattle, right?
Right.
Or
I'll
nuclear
let you have
warheads.
all my gold, right?
You
I
know,
mean,
it's very
it,
true
it,
what you're saying, but we've gone way off topic, almost off topic. But
are you the moderator tonight?
no, I want to. It's not my. Cannot even be my job. But yeah, uh, the communism that is coming down, and in America too. I hear all the time from the Democrats those dum-dums that are so, and you can't say they're stupid. They damn well know what they want, and it's a lawless society. Just to do what we want when we want, and that type of attitude, and they're getting it. And it is becoming more lawless by the day. These law courts are saying, well, you know what? He accidentally shot those people. He's just getting immigrated properly into this new culture society. Let's forgive the guy. Goes out, does it again, gets off again. It's getting stupid.
79 times.
Yeah.
And then he finally kills someone that people pay attention to. Yeah, how about that?
Yeah. When he cut that girl's, I don't even want to talk about it. Just the whole thing's just got retarded.
Well, that's where the Sean lives there. He knows that
Oh
mass
yeah,
transit system, right? Yeah.
I do.
yeah.
Yeah. What a disgrace. What a disgrace that
It
was. And then
sure
to
is.
find out who that judge was and that she
Yeah.
was making money from his release, that is just so unbelievably corrupt. It makes you want to
Hang
give
them
up on the
in the
whole
public square.
thing, doesn't it?
Yeah. But I think that we're not fighting back hard enough. I know us in Canada are definitely not. I do like the Blues Brothers line, by the way. The energy, the spirit behind the whole thing. It's just dead. It's killed. There's nothing going on.
Well, that's what they want, right? They want you to think there's no point in even showing up to vote because
Right.
It's hopeless.
my personal opinion is not going to win.
Right.
Correct.
They'll do what they did in Great Britain, where Liz Truss asked for that tax cut and the bond market erupted, and then all of a sudden Richie Sunak was prime minister and nobody voted for him. No one. The leader was selected the same way that Joe Biden was installed
Oh yeah.
as
Definitely.
president of the United States. And I will never give up on that, no matter how much they try to suppress it. And Edward, Tina Peters, they want her to die in prison because she took the image of the Dominion server. She knows exactly what happened in Colorado that night, and she was willing to publish it. And they absolutely will not let her out of prison to their last breath because they want her to die for telling the truth. That's what's going on. That's socialism. All right.
Yeah.
Socialism, Sean, I'm going to keep going a little longer. Socialism always ends in Jim Jones's Kool-Aid.
Oh God.
That's where it
Jonestown.
always ends up because it's going to be the brotherhood of man and it never works out. And then the pressure becomes too great. And they do what the British always do and they cull the herd. They just kill them. And that's what the shot was. That's what the vax was. It's the prelude to the same thing. Oh, we've
Survival of
got
the
too
fittest.
many people. We can't feed them all. Here, let's give them this. This is poison. They can't reproduce. And all the reproductive problems and all the rest of it. It's the same crap.
Mm-hmm.
And will we wake up to this? The promise of socialism is death. That's where it's at. You have under a market economy, you have the ability to leverage your gifts and everything else to better yourself. Under socialism, you're going to do what they say, even if it includes drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
True.
And that's where it ends.
True
And
that.
many of us have done it.
But
I'm sorry, the Pfizer shareholder across the street. I mean,
but
what a great person, but does it matter?
I gotta say though, and interject, it's because the hopelessness that people face, that's why they drink the Kool-Aid. Not that they don't know any better, although there's that too, but not when it comes to the end result. And that's why they're coming for the Christians first and foremost, because we won't bow out, and
All right, you're halfway to the actual answer, and it's hopelessness, but it's propaganda. So
Yes.
people feel hopeless because things are way too expensive. We can all just agree they are, and that's fine.
we
Oh,
know
hell
that.
yeah, they are.
Our prices down on some things, yeah.
Are you kidding?
Uh, uh,
They're trying to sink my business. I know that.
Right. So
All of ours.
here's what happens. So now I talk to you about they do this generationally. So we're two generations beyond the Bush dynasty, basically, which was it was a neocon at best, but it was they
Disaster.
they were Democrats, and let's just face it, they were, and they were all
Fun.
pushing towards this. But
I agree.
here's what happened is now you've moved past, like, there's so many people alive that don't even know what 9/11 was
I
that
know.
vote
Yep.
more than people that were alive. So this is my key point. And they could just say, look, these fuckers make it too expensive. Why don't we just make the government and the billionaires, oh, they don't even know how there's only 902 American billionaires, make all the billionaires pay for all of our stuff. Right. So, like, if you look at this, and once JC comes back, you two will both agree with me. We're walking through the same steps as 1930s Germany, but it's not Trump. It's the
Yeah.
Democrats that are doing this.
I believe that. It's very true. And you know what? If you had 902, if you had 1,000, if you had 10,000 billionaires,
Take
you're not paying
take all their
off.
money.
You're not paying off the national. You're not paying off the 32, 36 trillion dollars.
38.
Edward,
38.
you could
Not
take
even close.
you could take every dime they have. You wouldn't put a dent in it.
I know, because the interest would eat that back up in 5 more years. Be back where you started again. So there's no.
No, you wouldn't even put a dent in it today.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, if you
No one
literally
knows what the $1 trillion
stole
is.
all of their assets.
Yeah.
I'm not counting money because they don't have any money. They have
No.
assets in companies.
Take into consideration you sell everything off, and liquidate, and yeah, you had the cash. I'm saying if you did, you still wouldn't be able to even come close to what the government owes overall. If it's 38 trillion, 1 trillion is a lot of money, and people can't wrap their minds around how much $1 trillion really is.
It's
just
100 billion.
Yeah, but
We get to 1 trillion.
try pulling that up on a calculator. It doesn't even register. You don't have a calculator with enough digits to even get to that. So, it's pointless.
Edward, here's an illustration. There was this couple up in, it was either Oregon or Washington, something like that. They were Germans. As you know, I'm a German honk. I admire German farmers. They've fed the world for years. In fact, even so much that Catherine the Great invited them into Russia to teach Russians how to farm. And by the way, that's where our libertarian states came from in Nebraska, Oklahoma, and the Dakotas, because those were the Germans that had been oppressed by Russian tyranny. Whereas the Germans who moved to Wisconsin and Michigan were socialists because they thought government knew best. Same people, different experience.
Uh-huh.
Hey, we don't want any part of this crap. We're all right. So Germans can be taught. You just have to hit them in the head hard enough. Even this one, okay? Anyway, that couple up in Oregon or wherever the hell they were amassed a fortune of like $1 million. Farming. I mean, really good, industrious. Played by the rules, did everything right, never had any kids, contributed all their money to the church, whatever. They eventually, when they died, they read their will. They said, "We want to give it to the country that blessed us so much to pay down the national debt."
Mm.
Do you know how long that $1 billion lasted, or whatever the hell it was? It lasted 14 seconds.
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it basically like putting it into an incinerator. Everything, an entire lifetime of productivity, an entire lifetime of everything. And here's that four-eyed little shit weasel Mike Johnson. When you roll out one of these $7 trillion CR, there's no cuts to be made. Like, you got to be out of your mind. And as annoyed as I am with Mark Mitchell and Richard Barris predicting the doom of Trump, there is an angle here that if you don't show Gen Z some action,
yes,
you won't hold them.
You won't.
And you won't hold their vote. He got a lot of Gen Z votes. Elon when we were going through the budget and exposing all the graft, the Gen Z was eating it up. Blow it up, blow it up, blow it up, blow it up. And now we see Trump is really happy about the 130 trillion or whatever the hell it is that he's harvesting from these foreign countries. That doesn't make a difference in everybody's daily life this year, or even probably not even next year, maybe some next year, but not right now. And the risk is now, which is why I want JD Vance to start messaging, because no one in this administration knows what they're doing right now. Susie Wiles and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel are past their sell-by date, and they need to get out.
I agree. And you know what? The
Even
primary
if they
is
are good, they suffer from the same problem that Trump does. Is Trump is not explaining his
Right.
plan and how this is going to benefit everybody, because it will. Ultimately, it will.
And how
And
long it takes.
right, and how long you're gonna have to suck it up, right?
Yeah.
How long? And there was a president in World War II that said, "Hey, listen, we're gonna have to go do this," and explain to people, "Hey, we're gonna have to go do this. It's going to suck, but we have to do this. And here's why we have to do this." In Trump's administration, and I'll fault him or I'll fault him. His plan is a good plan,
Oh, it's a
but
very
it's
good plan.
going to suck to go through it.
I still remember in 82, you guys are probably a little young for this, but I remember Reagan running on stay the course. And he was right.
Yeah.
Stay the course. Yes, he did lose probably the House or whatever it was, but back then it wasn't as critical because they weren't going to impeach him every 5 minutes.
he did get shot.
All
That
right.
was the year he got shot too.
No. The
first
only
time.
reason he passed, Edward, the only reason God intervened, the only reason that he passed his economic agenda is because he got shot.
Uh-huh.
He had
I remember the
sympathy.
Reaganomic thing and the Reaganomics, blowback that was always
Well,
present.
that's a whole space, and that's a whole podcast.
We could do that. Some of
Reaganomics,
everything,
Reaganomics
Sean,
is actually not good.
everything is connected.
It is.
We can launch in 100 different directions on any show. You know that.
Well, because
But the point
politics
is
is
that.
everything.
But Edward, JD Vance messages like Reagan.
Hmm?
He makes it palatable even for the soccer moms, even for the libtard women who just love his blue eyes. I mean, he's so sincere and he's so smart, and he undresses Margaret Carlson, as hideous as that sounds, and Nora O'Donnell is. They don't even invite him on anymore. Have you noticed that? You don't see him on any weekend shows. None. Step on All of Us. He doesn't want any part of JD Vance. None of them do.
Because he
Vance is a
annihilates them.
Vance is a nuclear warhead for America first. And the way you salvage this, because we are a little bit off message, is to put Vance front and center from here until the midterms. He needs to carry the torch, and Trump can just stand there and go, "That's my guy."
Hexeth, if I was looking at
Oh,
this as a political advisor getting paid $8,000 an hour,
yes,
I
I
would
like
say
the new rate.
Hexeth needs to shut the fuck up and let Vance handle this.
Yes, and I think Vance
And
Hexas
I'm
should
not
talk.
mad at Hexeth.
No.
He's dead on correct. He just shut up.
Talk less. Listen, whenever you're in a bad relationship with a woman, the best advice you can have is talk less, do more. Let her ask, and then you can explain. If you start explaining too early, you're screwed because they'll see it as mansplaining,
Oh
and
yeah.
they don't want any part of it. All
Yep.
right? They'll think you're trying to hide something. Just fucking do it, and then when they ask, you give them the reason. And there's no better person in the United States suited for that than Vance. He absolutely can nail it every time, and he hits the chord that resonates with the electorate. I mean,
Well,
the dude is a generational talent, and if you're not using him, you're screwing up.
he does have an uncanny way of expressing or explaining the obvious, though. So I wouldn't say just that, but yeah, he is gifted when it comes to explaining things.
Edward, you gotta look at your country, look at our country, look at all of the West. Look at the average everyday person who might be inclined to vote, because the percentage of registered voters in countries to actual voters is
Way down.
minuscule. It's like 20-30% of people that actually show up. And who usually shows up? It's the Union Party. It's the Liberal Party.
Radicals, right.
Right. I said this earlier to JC, is that JD Vance has an incredible way of explaining things in. I'm just going to use the term jive, even though that's 1980s.
Layman's terms.
Layman's terms is
Even
fair.
better.
Jive. So he can explain it, because Trump, one of his
Yes.
fallacies in Trump term 2 is he can't explain all of the good stuff that's going to happen because of his policies. He just can't, and that's okay. We understand. We accept that.
And we're entering our golden age. Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Well, what the
Right,
fuck
right,
does
right.
that mean? I still can't afford all the
Right.
stuff I pay for. What is it?
Gas is down 50 cents. Big shit. I mean,
Right.
that's the reaction,
Oh,
right?
great. Trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars in investment in AI. Well, what the fuck does that mean for me? I work at
Nothing.
Amazon. And they just
Nothing.
right, explain.
It
You have
means
to be able to
what it means is
explain
your
the plan.
kids are going to be able to get real jobs. That's what it means.
Well, the primaries are coming up too, so a lot of the stuff's going to come out then. And
Primaries don't matter as nearly
Don't
as much
matter.
as you think. It has the lowest turnout of any election cycle in the United States.
maybe
And
that's
the
why.
Republicans now suffer from the Democrat disease of the fact that when you have a non-presidential election, your turnout sucks. And if Trump's not at the top of the ticket, the Trump-only voters, and by the way, you're talking to a Trump-only voter. I'm a Vance voter, obviously, but a Trump-only voter who would never vote for a McCain or a Romney or
Yeah,
Bush or any of those people ever
rhinos.
again. Ted Cruz, fuck you. All right. I mean, the point is, we're not doing it. And Bush has even said, "Oh, we need to take the party back from Trump." Yeah, good luck, asshole. You drove the party into the ground. All
Yeah,
right.
you're going to go back
But
to Russia.
But Edward, how do you get inspired about a midterm election when the Republican elected representatives won't pass his executive orders?
Yeah.
These are easy bills. These are easy pass legislation. It's not just messaging. The reason they won't pass his executive orders as legislation is because they don't want to. They think Trump is a passing storm, and in 2028, they're going to get back to business as usual. And I can say, you guys can stick that shit right up your ass.
But it's
That
true,
is
though.
not happening. All
Yeah.
right.
I got to stick with Rush Limbaugh when he says Trump may be going somewhere, going down, but you're not going anywhere. Mega's not going anywhere, and you got to stand by that because I actually believe that. Trying to be a big
No. Edward, you nailed it, because here's what even the politicians don't see. Okay, we were defeated in 2012 during the the Tea Party movement. We were.
Whatever,
They fucked us up. Ever since 2012, and this was under Obama, 2014, the MAGA movement started. It wasn't Donald Trump didn't announce he was running for almost another 18 months. The MAGA movement started out of the Tea Party movement of
good one.
patriots in the United States. And we're like, no, we want some conservatism. it gets weird because we chose Donald Trump, who's clearly not a conservative, but we chose him because he was a vehicle to
To
get
win.
our agenda back into mainstream and into the population. And and actually, funny thing is, the next guy we're going to do is going to be conservative. And you go, well, wait, Sean, well, can't it be a woman? Yeah, I could pick a Sarah Huckabee Sanders would be the most impressive conservative female
Yeah,
ever to be president.
I
I'm
think so.
not talking about that. I'm being realistic about what's going on, and
JD
that's
Vance.
JD Vance getting an actual conservative back into the executive office. In it, screw
First,
you, Marjorie Taylor
first,
Greene. You want to quit? You want to
Mush.
quit? And then the rest of you, there's going to be more. There's going to be more that quit. We see where you were. Thank you. We're just
yeah.
going to put conservatives in
Please
instead of
quit.
use
Please
assholes.
quit. Yeah,
Yeah,
please quit.
please
We're not
do.
doing business as usual. Please quit.
We're done. We're done.
No,
And
I agree.
you think Trump was bad for the world? Just wait till you get JD Vance.
Yeah.
And we're loving that. So yeah, that's
No, well, you and I are loving it, but the world has
no.
no idea, no idea
I realize that,
how America is going to retake its crown, quote unquote, at the top of the world power.
but it's got
Like,
to.
like if you look at like, and everyone like there's so many people online or whatever, or people I talk to, family members, they're like, well, Trump's failing. It's like, no, Trump is super exceeding in the way he's doing all these moves with geopolitics. He's telling Iran, your days are done and we're not going to do a damn thing about it. Here's what we're going to do, though. You already have a fight with Israel because you told Israel their mom was fat, like so fat,
Basically.
right?
Uh-huh.
So, you know what? We're going to give Israel a partner, and we're going to give Israel Saudi Arabia, and we're going to give Saudi Arabia the same armaments that we give. And everybody goes, why are we arming Israel? Or why are we arming us, Saudi Arabia? Hold on. We're not. They're going to buy them.
Right.
We're going to profit. And so now you have two countries in the Middle East, and every time Iran acts out, you don't know which one's going to strike them and fuck them up. No. This is the biggest thing that's ever
Big deal.
happened in the
Big
Middle
deal.
East since the 1910. This change that Trump is putting in, and I know
It's
everyone goes,
amazing.
Trump, my turkey cost. No. Well, look at what
Cares.
Trump's actually doing. I don't care about the cost of your turkey. We can argue over it was 59 cents a pound or 90 cents a pound. I really don't give a shit. This maneuver by Trump, bringing Saudi Arabia in and saying America will no longer be the police in the Middle East, it will be Israel and Saudi Arabia. And we're just going to sell them the equipment.
Right.
We will never put humans on the ground again because we don't have to.
Same way we're selling the Europeans the armaments for Ukraine. Same deal. We're not going to Ukraine. You dumb shits can buy that shit and send it over there and make us rich and fuck you. I mean,
No.
I've had enough of the Norwegians and all the rest of those assholes. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
No, I'm with
No.
you on that. Oh my God.
My European betters can suck it. That's the way I feel about it. You guys been living on fumes for 80 years. The hell with you.
No, I agree. I'm with that. Hands down.
Obviously, this isn't the kind of temperate talk you expect from John Podhoretz or whatever, right?
Well, it always ends up in jail, Paul, which is funny.
I don't like.
Well, no, but Sean, everything is connected.
It sure is.
I mean, socialism is the road to hell. Socialism is the road to Jonestown.
It is.
If you can't earn your keep, what good are you?
Well,
And
not
that
only
goes.
not only earning it, but if you're relying on it, it kills innovation. It kills everything. When that goes back to the old saying, "They pretend to pay us, we pretend to work." It gets back to that again, where there's no energy, there's no nothing, and that's what
Well,
communism does.
don't all things look back, at least in the West, to William Bradford
Oh, it sure
and
does.
the
This
original story of Thanksgiving,
it
and
does.
the first year where they tried common store,
Communism. Right.
meaning socialism or communism. You could, I've researched this so much. You could use either term; it would be correct.
Hmm.
And they were already dying because there was nothing here. There was no infrastructure. There was no buildings. And they were staying literally on the Mayflower. And that spring, the Mayflower had to return back to. I don't know if we're going to have another chance to tell the story, Edward. The Mayflower returned that spring, so that the 32 of them that were left, they came back on shore after the Mayflower left in very early spring, but still very frigid waters in the North Atlantic, sailed away. They literally they built, right? They settled a land. And when everyone says, "Oh, white people conquered a land," I will ask you this question, this one question: what was here?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. That's why the whole thing of having
Look
tradesmen
at.
and people coming from those countries, you could say Europe, that they're the ones that built what we have here and started. By the way, what was the name of that town in Pennsylvania that they went to?
Jamestown. They all
James,
died, by the way.
No, they all died. In
there was,
fact, the people down in the Carolinas or whatever, there's another settlement down there. They all died. Leif Erikson, all his bullshit, they all died. Everybody died. This is a rough place to live because it has very unstable weather, as we've come to learn.
mhm.
And only through the merit of capitalism and keeping what you earn were they able to produce.
Yeah,
Well, and
That's that's
this
it.
is the story as told by Rush, but has been told by me for many years. Edward
got to do it
is
again. Got to
is
do it again.
I'm going to do it briefly. Is the very first year they gave it was the common store is what it was called. Everybody got a share of the common store. It doesn't matter what they produce. No productivity was required. We're just going to be nice and share with our neighbors, right?
The honor system.
Now, some of these words you hear from common day. Dude, guys, what we got to take care of our neighbors. We gotta help our
Well,
neighbors. And
we
what
can't.
happened to that very first year is half of the people died because they couldn't produce enough food.
Anything.
And so William Bradford said, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa!" Coming into the spring, William Bradford said, "Hey, listen. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the most important thing that ever happened to the world: private property.
Right.
We're going to give you each 1 acre lots. You can do with it whatever you want to do with
Whatever
it,
you want.
and
Oh, you grow food.
you could trade, you could whatever you want to do. You want to be a goat herder, you want to be a cattle herder, you want to grow crops, you could do. But now all of a sudden you're incentivized to work. This is the most important thing that William Bradford did. He goes, "Oh, socialism clearly didn't work. A common store or communism, you could use either one. A common store. We're going to let people use their 1 acre lot and let them do whatever they want. They could build a brothel on it. I don't really give a shit. They can do whatever they want to make money with it. And all of the losers who did nothing the first year, making all of us starve, are now going to have to work."
Fend for themselves.
Yeah, fend for themselves.
Yeah. How about that?
Love
I
the story.
I find that to be the most compelling Thanksgiving story of all time, because the fact is that without the incentive of keeping a portion of what you've earned, nothing
Capitalism.
makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And socialism is about giving government the opportunity and the opening to take everything you have, which basically rips away the incentives of individual production and actually violates the Christian religion of the fact that you're individually created with unique gifts and you're able to produce bounty, and
Mm-hmm.
yet you can't keep it because some entity up here says it belongs to someone else. Sorry, folks, that's bullshit. And I don't care how many times you package it. I don't care how many Obamas or mom commies you send into our midst. It's crap.
Well,
Figure out what you're here to do and do it well. The way MLK Jr., not someone I quote often, said, if you're going to sweep streets the way Michelangelo painted pictures.
Love that saying. Yes, be the best damn street sweeper this corner of the
Take
world's ever seen.
take pride in what you do it and produce,
Yeah.
because
well,
there's no free
yeah,
lunch.
a lot of people talk about our founding fathers, but almost 150 years before them was William Bradford, the
Yes.
original Thanksgiving story. And William Bradford quickly found out that everybody dies with
Yes.
socialism. And
Right.
it wasn't through that he wasn't willing to try it, even though he's like, this is stupid, but okay, we got here on the Mayflower. This is the Mayflower story, the Pilgrims, which is taught in school very incorrectly.
I
Of
was just going to
course.
Very
say,
incorrectly.
let's teach the real story.
What is taught in school correctly?
That
Well, all right,
communism.
I get your point. So
All right.
but so William Bradford, the governor, William Bradford took over. The governor actually died on the Mayflower on the 4-month journey
Of
across
course.
the North Atlantic. So William Bradford became the natural leader because he was just a leader, and he's like, all right, fine, we'll try it. We'll just have a common store. I'm highlighting this because it's very important as it relates to communism or socialism, where everybody
Yes.
gets a fair share. Uh, Senator Bernie Sanders,
Yes.
And you
and,
know what?
and they found out very quickly that very first winter. Just to tell an accurate story, they still had not settled the land, and they were going back and forth in basically canoes from the Mayflower to try to keep themselves at least sheltered from wind in the northeast of England, New England, winter, and then go back and forth and try to build housing with fireplaces, things like that. And when it all boiled down, half of his 40-person colony died that winter
Yes. Yes.
because half of the people did not produce anything.
Anything.
This is the most important part about the original story of Thanksgiving, is that William Bradford realized in just one winter socialism kills people, not by war, not by anything, but because the thing is produced. And he said, okay, I'm going to do something the world's never heard about. I'm going to do private property. Private property, now we talk about as capitalism. We can explain how that's getting screwed from everybody. Uh,
Mhm.
JC knows. but
Yeah, it's
but
the first thing.
when you're talking about private property, if you actually have literal private property that the government can't control, you can produce whatever you want to produce. You like
Right.
and today, if you want to produce AI chips on your private property, produce them.
You know what? I don't want to wax philosophic right now on the failings of the fallen human nature that we have to wax and gloss and shine up, because that's what we've been doing when we're talking socialism or communism. It all comes back to that one very subject matter right there, and humanity and how great we are and everything. We're not that great, people.
No, we're not.
Well,
So-
I get where you're going, but like that was like everyone goes to because they just are. They're not taught about these stories. Everyone goes to the founding fathers, and I say the actual founding father was William Bradford in
There's
Plymouth Rock in the first year.
no
He's
no
the
doubt.
one who created, and I will tell you it to this point. There was Jamestown. There was some other colonies, and they all died. They all just died in the
course.
winter. A misconception is that they didn't know how to plant plants or
God,
crops or hunt food.
you didn't pay
Are you
attention.
kidding me? They came out of Europe. They did
Yeah.
all of this stuff to begin with. So that's retarded. And GHEY to say that these white people did. Here's what it was, though, is that they were trying to start socialism in the 1600s, of course, again. And
Always.
here's why,
Well,
right? Because they wanted to everybody to pay back the money to the King of England,
Of
to the
course.
oligarch.
Of course.
And
Edward's
so
buddy, the King of England. Yeah.
it went. So
Where'd I go? We disappeared.
So William Bradford, when he saw this first year of he's like, "I'll try it. Okay, guys, I'll try it. All right, if that's what you want to do." And he watched it and he goes, everybody, like half the people died. He goes, private property. No, libertarians will tell you that's the most important thing on the planet, and I will say I don't like libertarians, but it's the most important thing on the planet for a government is
No,
to give.
I listen. They may be myopic, but they have a point.
Yeah, it's the most important thing.
You guys
That
know where I
is
went? I
their
disappeared. Anybody?
modern conservative. I don't know what's going on with your computer, Edward.
Edward keeps checking out. Why don't we call it? I'll still be here. All
Can
right.
you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, something happened.
Sort of.
Yeah.
You're not moving. You're not moving much.
Yeah,
You
your
need
face looks
you
like
need
that.
Starlink. Now your glasses are on. I can't figure out what you're doing. All right.
Oh, there you go. I don't know. It wasn't me. I didn't touch anything. I tell you, I didn't touch it.
It's all right, Ann. I'll tell you about that
Right.
story later. Let me
got
hey,
Yeah,
let me play the song. Let me do the thing. Thank you, everybody who I can't tell how many people are listening tonight.
Tough
I'll look
with
at
it.
the analytics later.
Yeah.
I appreciate you all. Let's play out Patriot Sons podcast.
Do it.
Wait.